let's see if you can be impressive in terms of the football forecasting. Can you guess the Micah-esque debate that we've been fighting about on this show for over a month now for the Cowboys at 26? Can you guess what the dilemma is, and do you have the answer for it?
Before I forget, you got to ask me later about why I think why I'm really high on the Cowboys for next year. But you're having a Bijan debate.
Yes.
And are you so you don't think he's going to be there at 26? So you're debating whether or not they should trade up.
Choppy. Let's produce some more audio for the future here.
If they trade up for him, I'll lose my mind. No, we're just we're simply debating. Not even debating, really. It's Bobby's just spewing nonsense. Just the idea that anybody would still draft a running back in the first round.
Well,
or should draft a running back.
I think the idea that anybody would draft a running back in the top 10 is really silly.
Yep.
I literally was on Philly radio this morning, and there's a lot of people in Philly that want the Eagles to take Bijan Robinson at 10. And I said, first of all, guys, they're not going to do that because the Eagles know what they're doing. And secondly, as good as he is, the Eagles' O-line is so good, and Hurts as a runner is so good. Like, they just don't need to do that, right? And the big difference, I would say, guys, between taking him at 10 and 26 is the money.
Mm-hmm.
The money's really – so, like, the issue I have with taking a running back at 10 is he immediately becomes, like, one of the 5 highest-paid running backs in the NFL. It's only like $6 or $7 million a year, but that's what guys make. I mean, the days of these guys getting double-digit million, like Zeke and Saquon and even Pollard on the tag, like Aaron Jones, who's a stud for the Packers, he'd take a pay cut this offseason. They're not even going to give those guys like McCaffrey's deal. Nobody's getting that again. What Kamara got, nobody's like. They're not giving these guys $10+ million a year anymore.
Yeah.
So my issue with the Bijan at 10 would be the money. At 26, the money's a lot different, and it's stated, whether it's right or wrong, McCarthy wants to run the ball even more, and you got Pollard coming off this injury. I kind of like the Cowboys taking Bijan at 26. That's a different scenario than taking him at 10. I agree with trading up is asinine. I would not trade up. If he's still there at 26, which he won't be, I would take him.
Who are some other names or targets that you think we should be rooting for them to take?
Yeah, I think it's they can always go O-line, D-line, because I don't feel like they have O-line depth now. And, nobody ever likes when you draft an O-lineman because you're like, well, we don't need him. We don't need a starter. But you do. Like, as soon as one guy gets hurt, you do. I mean, you lost my boy McGovern, so you need somebody that can fill in at a bunch of spots. So O-line's never a bad thing. Plus, I mean, how long is Tyron going to play, right? So you need not only backup for this year and depth for the inevitable injury, but you need someone that's going to replace Tyron. And if you think that that's Tyler Smith, that's fine, but then you need a starting left guard. So you need a guy that can play guard tackle. You could always use D linemen, especially D tackles, but I kind of think there's a decent chance they take a tight end. I really do. I mean, I think people love these tight ends. If Kincaid's there, I think they would take him. If Mayer's there, I think they would take him. I think they should. I already think they got a really good offense, but, Dak loved Dalton Schultz. I mean, Dak threw the ball to him all the time. And to think like, oh, we just don't need him, blah, 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 I don't agree with that. They need a good tight end in the middle of the field.
Audacy insider Ross Tucker joined us here at 105 through the Fan. All right, so who are some other players that you just love? Are there any that you just don't understand the hype for in this draft?
I'm always a little bit skeptical of like the kind of 1-year wonder physical phenom looking guy, like this Tyree Wilson guy from Texas Tech. I never even heard of him until this year. And that doesn't mean that he's not good, but I kind of feel like I would have heard of him, right? Like, I don't know. I always think it's funny, by the way, I tweeted this yesterday, at Ross Tucker NFL. It doesn't help these studs to come back for like the next year at all. Yeah. I mean, Will Anderson would have been the number 1 pick last year. he comes back, and now some people think he might not go till 3, 4, or 5. So what did he just do? I mean, the only thing that's changed this at all is the NIL, because now these guys actually do get money. Because otherwise, like, he just put wear and tear on his body to get drafted lower and make less money. Like, that makes no sense. Same with Jalen Carter. I mean, Jalen Carter would have gone higher if he had gotten in the draft last year. Now, his was probably more for this off-the-field stuff, but the point is like, it's just like this Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. should maybe not even play college football this year. Now, I'm sure some Ohio State rich guy's going to give him $1 million to play, but before NIL, I don't see why these guys would play. So Tyree Wilson, I'm a little bit skeptical of. He's probably the biggest one. Is that guy? The quarterbacks, I'm not a Will Levis guy. And you guys, RJ, you're going to laugh at this, okay? I've been thinking about this. Who's the last quarterback that was absolutely shredded that was good?
Oh, man.
Like, you look at the pictures of Will Levis, like, he looks like a linebacker or dude, he, like, you can see the striations of all of his muscles. Like, and I wish I looked like that. If I looked like that, I'd be on Instagram posting that stuff every day.
Not
like,
on
no
12 dumplings.
No, none of those dumplings. Tebow was excellent. Excellent, right?
He said good, though.
For eight games, he was fantastic, scoring 11 points a night.
But
like,
what's the connection? Why do you think that it would hurt being shredded?
I don't think it hurts. I just don't. There's something weird there. I'll tell you this much. Brady was never looking to even put on muscle. Brady was all about, what does he always say? Pliable.
Yeah.
All Brady did was like stretch and was flexible. And listen, Brady's arm got stronger while he was in the NFL. Go back to his first couple years with the Patriots, and then go back to like his last couple years with the Bucks. Like, Brady's arm got stronger, and it had nothing to do with him getting more jacked or more muscular. He just, like, his muscles were pliable. I don't even really know what that means, but I know that that's what Brady did, and that's good. You look at the Will Levis pictures.
Yeah.
He's not pliable anything. I mean, he's just like Will Levis. Like, there's a 20% chance Will Levis converts to fullback in 3 years. With his body type.
If you had to accomplish one of his eating feats, you have to pick one: mayo in the coffee or the banana with the peel.
Oh, banana with the peel. First of all, bananas are delicious.
Yep.
And I could convince myself that the peel is like really healthy, and I could get through that. I could do that. I've never had a sip of coffee in my life.
Wow.
And mayo is disgusting.
Oh.
So you are combining two of, I mean, I get why people drink coffee. They need it to, like, wake up in the morning. I jump out of bed. Like, I work out in the morning. That's how I get my endorphins. I kind of think coffee's for wimps, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Coffee. Like, they need coffee because they can't just jump out of bed and get ready to kick some you-know-what that day. But then mayo, I despise the entire concept of mayonnaise. Who decided, you know what we should put on this sandwich? Liquid fat.
That's what it is.
Fat. It's disgusting.
Awesome.
And you know what bothers me? Really bothers me. When you go to, like, somewhere and, like, somebody gets you packaged sandwiches, or, like, they get one of those sandwich trays and the mayo's already on the sandwich. Like, this is America, bro. I don't get to choose. Don't put mayonnaise on it. Don't even put yellow mustard. Let me have the options, because the only correct answer is spicy brown deli mustard.
Oh,
Spicy brown's good.
I'm very anti anybody that is going to say to me what condiment should be on my sandwich. Like, you don't hand somebody a hot dog and there's already ketchup and/or mustard on it. You let them make a choice. I mean, where do we live? Do we live in another country?
This isn't Russia.
No, you don't put mayonnaise on my sandwich when you give it to me.
So I'm going to need you to make me feel better about Michael Mayer then, since you said that you think that'd be a good pick for Dallas there, and I know you don't feel great about Tyree Wilson.
Jason Witten?
No, that's the thing.
28 years. Jason Witten.
That's exactly, Sean. Who have I been saying he is? I've been saying he's Witten, and I think he's really, really good. I think that if you're talking about coming into the modern passing game, give me Dalton Kincaid from Utah, give me Luke Musgrave from Oregon State. I just think that Michael Mayer is a continuation of 8 to 10 yard chain movers.
Okay, so first of all, I don't think Kincaid will be there.
I don't either.
Secondly, I mean, Mayer's been Notre Dame's best player for like 3 years, and he's Witten. You know Witten's going to the Hall of Fame, right? You know
Likely.
Witten's like one of the 5 best Dallas Cowboys ever, and you don't want that?
No, here's the thing is that I want to come into like when we talk about running back value, I want to know what's the value of the 8-yard curl tight end versus the 16-yard seam tight end that Kelsey and Kittle are. Like if I can get potentially Kelsey or Kittle with the way Luke Musgrave's footwork is, I'd rather have that.
Right, Musgrave's faster. And you like, so look, I mean, they have these discussions all the time, and you guys can make that choice. Would you rather go for the faster guy with the higher upside, who might be a Kelsey type, or would you rather go for the guy that's extremely consistent, a better blocker, knows what he's doing against zone coverage, and is more reliable like Mayer? I think, look, we can have that debate about a lot of positions a lot of times. Are you going to go for the guy that has a chance to be a 9 or 10, but also pretty good chance he's a 2 or 3?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you going to go with the guy that you know is an 8? I think that's a fair discussion. I would go with the guy that I know is an 8, because if he's Jason Witten and he's your starting tight end for 15 years, I mean, how many times is the guy – we talk about these tight ends, like how many times is he actually going to catch a pass down the seam for 40, 50 yards? I mean, that never happened. I hear people say it about Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz caught plenty of passes down the field. Is Dalton Schultz like going to be this guy that breaks 5 tackles and goes 50 yards? No, but there's only one guy that does. I mean, maybe 2 in the whole NFL that does that.
Who's the best player in the draft?
Will Anderson. Yeah, I mean, Will Anderson. I look, I love Jalen Carter, but Will Anderson, I mean, if this was a year ago, he would have been the number 1 pick, and we wouldn't even been having a conversation. It's just crazy to me. He has to come back for another year because of the stupid rule, and he has one bad game, and now it's like, nah, I don't know, and they're going to take Bryce Young. You know, I get the quarterback thing, but now the Texans might take Will at 2 instead of a quarterback. If the Texans take Will Anderson at 2 and then they take Levis later, I will laugh. I will laugh so hard. Think about Lovie Smith. He will have ruined the entire franchise by winning that last game. It's unbelievable.
Ross Tucker.
By the way, you didn't ask me. I wanted to tell you guys. The Cowboys have closed the gap on the Eagles.
Well, it was going to be after right? I was going to be after my reset here. Ross Tucker.
Oh, go ahead, reset. Yeah.
Diamond Factory.
When you reset, you say my name again, and I need the pub. When you reset, say my social media, too. Go ahead.
Ross Tucker, at Ross Tucker NFL, at Go Big Recruiting, at My Front Page Gift, at Eagles, at Audacy Sports, at CBS Sports, at Westwood One, at I Hate Deviled Eggs and Chicken Salad Sandwiches and anything else with mayo. Why, Ross Tucker? Do you believe in the
sneaky about that? You know what's sneaky about that?
That's something. Yeah.
Sorry, I have noticed. My wife has been calling me out lately that there are some things that I kind of enjoy that have a little bit of mayonnaise in them.
Like?
Deviled eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gross.
They're great.
Gross.
Idiotic take if you hate mayonnaise and you like deviled eggs. Chicken salad, tuna sandwiches.
That's something I would do.
Those things are disgusting. Disgusting. The fact that mayonnaise is used to stick it all together, to give it its consistency, heinous, hideous. I love those H words.
Why do you believe in the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, the biggest thing is there wasn't that much of a gap last year. They got rid of Zeke, which I don't think he was really helping them. But I love the additions of Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore. Love. They needed a corner opposite Diggs. Gilmore can still play. I did a couple Colts games last year. He's good still. And then Brandon Cooks is exactly what they needed. They needed a speed. I give them a lot of credit. I give the Cowboys front office flack a lot. Like, I thought the Amari Cooper trade was a joke. I think they screw up often. I thought they crushed it with the Gilmore and Cooks trade. They didn't give up very much. They didn't have to pay all the money for these guys, and it's exactly two big positions of need where they got guys that are still above average starters. Huge for the Cowboys. And the Eagles lost, what did they lose, 7 starters, I think? I mean, the Eagles lost a bunch of starters. So we'll see how it shakes out with the draft, but I think the Eagles, I mean, they're not as good as they were last year. How could they be? Their roster was unbelievable last year. So the Eagles are coming back to the pack a little bit, and the Cowboys are better. Right now, I think they're probably about even Steven.